Hi everyone. This is a pretty niche video, even by the standards of wargaming and board gaming. And it's about this game, the Hunters, German U-boats at war, 1939 to 43, which is a game that's been out of print for quite a long time. And this edition is the second printing that was done by Consim Press. This is very recently, probably about last week or so, been reprinted as a third printing by GMT. And what I thought I would just show people is, because I don't think there's a video on YouTube about this yet. If you've got the second printing like this that I have, that they will give you an upgrade kit which upgrades it to the third edition. And I'll go through the upgrade kit in a second, but I just thought we'll just have a quick spin through what's in the box in case you guys don't currently own it. So obviously this didn't come in the box, the actual organizer. That's just myself just organising it. The dice do, however. Whoops, there's one escape. So there's various different tokens. Again, I'm not going to go through them in any great detail at this stage, but just to see that those are the tokens that you get in the box. There are the dice. You get a patrol sheet. I'm not sure why I decided to keep that. There's the actual. You get a patrol sheet. Let's go back to that side. Rules of play, as you'd expect, and then various different tables that you roll on. Let's get the actual. Get the tables done first, actually. You see, I don't. Whilst I'm organised with the tray, I'm not very organised with filing everything in the box. So you get some various different tables that you roll on throughout the game in terms of the ships that you're facing, some counters, as you can see there, with aircraft, flak, the patrols that you get assigned. So depending on the year, so where the U-boats are going and where they're hunting, which is relevant actually to one of the upgrades that you get with the third edition. Then types of encounters that you might have. So when you come up against so basically when you go on your patrol, it tells you where to go. You follow a map on your sub sheet, and then you look for encounters. So it could be aircraft, it could be ships, it could be a convoy of ships by themselves, or a convoy with escorts. And then you roll on the other tables, see what type of ships there are, and then you decide how you want to interact with them in terms of do you want to attack and how you want to attack. And then when you are attacking, you have your targets laid out on this sheet. And then in the past, what's happened? Oh God, there's another. More things that can happen to you, and more things to roll on. Because the damage thing can be pretty scary in terms of if suddenly things become inoperable, or obviously as you're in a U-boat, you can sink to the bottom of the ocean. Those kinds of things. But on each, let's have a Type 7. Let's go Type 7B. Okay. So this mainly when you're playing, you have this is your sub, and then this is where you're tracking your patrol that you're going on, and the various different damage and those kind of things, and how many torpedoes you have left, and what's loaded in the tubes, and those kinds of things. So it's a really fun game actually, and it's been out of print for a long time, much to everybody's disappointment, I suppose. And Gregory Smith, the guy who's designed it, has gone on to design some other games, like Interceptor Ace is one of his. So off the top of my head, I can't remember what the others are. And anyway, when they've come to reprint it, they've added a few more features to the game, and that's what I thought I would show to you, because anyone who's getting the third edition, I think these are the only changes. There may be some other ones as well, but so in terms of the upgrade pack, this is what I received in the post this morning. So you can see a bit more flavour in terms of, particularly for the patrols. So there's somewhere. Yeah, there's like a short. It's not exactly instructions. What it is, kind of instructions, which just goes through what you have and how to use it. And I don't think mechanically there's any difference, but what there is say it's just a bit more theme. So instead of the straight ahead track that you had on your U-boat sheet that I showed you earlier, you now actually have a map, so you can see where where you're travelling as you go on your patrols, rather than it just being a straight box to box to box to box, like it was on the sheet for your submarine. And then there are two different ones. So this is the one for the shorter ranged U-boats, and then for the longer range U-boats there's actually a portrait version, which means you go on much longer patrols along the coast of I think that's North America, isn't it? Yeah, and also through the Caribbean. I think on the other one you can just about reach North America, but you can't stay there for very long. So you've only got 3 boxes there when you're off the coast of North America. So every time you go from box to box to box, you are testing for encounters. So the longer you're there, the more likely you are to come across something. So that's the first change. And then the second change are these. So you can play as one of the U-boat aces. So on here it gives you an idea of who they are, how many ships they sunk, and the tonnage. And then you can try, I guess, to try and beat that. And then each one of them has their own special ability, and it also tells you which type of, or what class of U-boat to use. And on the back it shows you what patrols they went on as well. So this is obviously an historical U-boat captain, and so you can take his patrols and see how you do. Also within the game you can actually get medals and also be promoted as well, actually through the ranks. So it's just showing you that information, which I think is a really nice touch, actually. Bizarrely, even though you just saw the game and it, in theory it's just a bunch of tables, it's a really involving game, which really has its own sort of emergent storytelling. It's really much more, or much greater than the sum of its parts. So just quickly spin through these so you can see them. So this guy starts with a veteran crew. Normally you start with, I haven't played it for a while, I think it's rookies, and then again they upgrade. So the more patrols you do, the longer you stay alive, really. The more experience they get, which gives you some advantages on dice rolls from memory. So Otto Kretschmer is, well, at least to my understanding, the most famous U-boat ace. There was quite a lot of propaganda, I guess we would call it, and publicity about him. And this is a particularly powerful special ability that you can hit with additional, you get an additional to hit dice. What's the word I'm looking for? Can't remember. Anyway, it's easier for you to hit people with your torpedoes. And you can see he was very decorated. I think that's the highest you can get with oak leaves and swords from memory. So that's self-explanatory. Oh, actually it wasn't then, because you can get diamonds. There you go. So as you say, I haven't played this for quite a while now. Good, it'd be a good excuse to get it out again, actually. Aggressive, must always attack any ship on contacts. Must always initiate an additional round of combat against unsunk, unescorted targets. As you see, him and his crew lasted 10 patrols. And I think, although he did live to 2005, it's quite interesting to see how many of these guys survived the war. Actually, no, quite a few of them did, so this guy didn't. I think Otto Kretschmer from memory was captured. I think that must be the same for Eric Top as well, because he's starting, where does it say? Sorry, somewhere it tells you what date they start. So 1941. So clearly he did 10 patrols and didn't survive. That's not long enough to get to the end of the war, I don't think. So from 1941. So I assume that he was captured. So experience never detected when attempting close range. Again, that's quite helpful for an encountering roll, single. That's also quite helpful. So yeah, Hulls and Beinbruch counter. For memory, that allows you to re-roll. So it means, as I say, it means you're lucky. I can't remember what it means to like break a leg. I think Beinbrach means have it like break a leg. So like I say, it's a lucky. It's like being lucky. So you get it's additional rolls. Another guy who survived the entire war. So which is interesting because the attrition rate was something from memory, something like 80%. So 80% of the people who took part in U-boat crews didn't survive the war. So it's interesting that I think all but one of those captains did. Hence why I guess they're the aces. So yeah, I hope that's of interest to say. I think it is fairly niche, but to a few people who have either got the Hunters and are going to upgrade, or now it's back in print, are keen to get their hands on it, because as I said, it's a wonderful game. Highly recommend it. And yeah, see you on the next video.